All right, here we go. We had some technical errors. Can you close that, please? Can you close the door, please? Yeah. Thank you so much. Listen, it's the real realtor. I'm the real realtor. We keep it real here. We are working mamas, you know. Hey everyone, good evening. Sunday night, 7 o'clock. Drop where you are from in the chat. Are you from Yulee? Are you from Jacksonville? Where are you from? Maybe St. Augustine, St. Johns County. How about some Clay County? West Side, where are you from? I'm gonna start here in just a few minutes, 2 minutes, like get everybody get settled in. Put where you're coming from, where you're watching from. Drop those questions in the chat. It is the Real Realtor. We'll be on here about 45 minutes or so. So if you tuned in last week, last week was the first episode. We talked about the government shutdown, and look at that. Now it's over. So that's awesome. So this is episode 2 of the Real Realtor. So today we are going to be talking about this one's going to be a hot topic, y'all. Renting or buying in 2026. Should I rent or should I buy? And how about those interest rates? Should I wait or should I buy? So we're going to talk about that. We are also going to talk about getting your home ready for the holidays, guys. 11 days till Thanksgiving. Is your home ready for the holidays? You've got 11 days. That's 2 weekends, right? Including this one, which is already over, to go ahead and get it together. And then, of course, we're going to have our open house of the week. So we'll have one select open house every Sunday night that we'll just share real quick. And, of course, our Q&A, and pop them in the chat as you go. You don't have to wait till the end. So if you have a question, let me know. If you missed the live, that's totally cool. Drop your question in the chat, and we'll get it next time. So grab your snacks, get your drinks, whatever you want, get snuggy. I got my fake fireplace. Listen, it's better than cleaning a real one. I tell you what. Get your drinks. We'll go ahead and get started here. See my Hello Kitty Cafe cup. It is coming to the Jacksonville Town Center again this weekend which mall is it? Yeah, it's the Town Center. It's over there by the Belk, Victoria's Secret, all that. So make sure you go check that out. All right, guys, everybody. So what's going on? Good evening. I'm Sarah Nunley. I'm your Wildlife Realtor. My broker is Property Management Partners and Associates, where I've been a proud property manager and realtor. I've been there going on 15 years now. So time flies when you're having fun. Don't forget to check out the About Me in the first episode. I had a nice little About Me because it was episode 1. So it gives you a little bit background on who I am and why I'm doing this, which is to help people, right? That's why I have plenty of topics, and I'm going to give you the real estate talk. No fluff here, real action. And of course, my property management background of 15 years. And Zen yoga cycling will also be put to good use for you. So got a mixed bag, got a lot going on here. Okay, so Sunday night, 7 o'clock, everybody get in, get snuggy, get those questions. I'm making sure my technical's working here. Last week I had a glitch. We're going to put some market stats up there for you too a little later. And last week I had a glitch. So this week I now have my screen on too. So I appreciate you learning with me. Been in the industry for 15 years, but I'm new to the YouTube. So I appreciate you working with me. And, you know, social media is huge, right? I'm the elder millennial. So I grew up without it, but now I have it and can't live without it, right? So that's kind of where we're at with that. Okay, so everybody go ahead, pop in. So that's what we're talking about this week, renting versus buying 2026. Will the interest rates go down? Should you wait for them? Getting the home ready for holidays, your market stats, your open house of the week, and your Q&A. So let's go ahead and get going. Oh, real quick, next week, real quick, I've got my notes here, y'all. If you know me, you know I will talk to you for hours and hours and hours because I love talking. So got to keep myself an agenda here. Next week is really cool. How to buy a home when you still have to sell yours. Bye, baby. I love you. Okay, come on back. I love you. Mom's in action. Listen, it's Sunday night. It's the real. So next week is how to buy a home when you still have to sell yours. And that one, that's very personal to me because I actually just did that. I did a sell, a rent, a buy, a whole thing in this market. So next week, that is going to be the topic, and that's going to be a really good topic if you want to sell your home, buy a home, but you're kind of not sure where to go. And also next week, AI in real estate, how Zillow is now integrated with ChatGPT and what a realtor can do that AI can't. There's a lot. So that's going to be next week. All right, here we go. Episode 2. Who's ready? In the chat, you guys ready? You know, that's the spin instructor in me. I'm just like, come on, guys, who's ready? Getting everyone pumped up. But it's Sunday night, so we should bring it down, right? Okay, so here we go. Episode 2, renting versus buying. What's really smart right now? So right now, who's in the chat? Want to put rent? Are you buying? Have any questions about it? So there's pros and cons to both. And you know me, I'm the real realtor. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, you should never rent, you should always buy, because that's not real. That's not real. Renting is awesome. Buying is awesome. And depending on where you are at in your life, that's where you're going to be, right? Some people, first-time home buyers. Some people growing their family. Some people, empty nesters. Some people never want to cut a lawn in their life, and that's okay. So there's all different kinds of apartment, condos, townhomes. The vibe is different, right? And the property manager in me is going to tell you every community has like a different pulse, has like a different vibe. So it's really, really neat. But anyway, so we're going to talk about renting first. Most people rent out of the gate, right? So most people, I would say, I'm here in America, I'm in Florida. Most people here, I would say, around the time that they're getting ready to leave their parents' home, they usually go and rent, usually, I don't know, college dorm, an apartment with your friends. I used to live at an apartment complex on Southside Boulevard, right over there by Southside and 95. And it was awesome. Great experience. I was in my early 20s. I felt so adult. I had my real deal. So there's lots of pros to renting, and we're going to talk about those right now. Do you have any pros to renting? Drop them in the chat. Okay, so the first one is you've got a couple lower upfront costs. Now, when you go to rent a home, whether it be a single family home or an apartment or a condo or a townhome, it's usually first month's rent, last month's rent, and some sort of a deposit, which is usually that amount. So obviously, whether you're buying or renting, there's a little chunk of change that you're going to need up front. But when you rent, that chunk of change is going to be a little less smaller than, say, your down payment, right? So that is one pro of renting. One of my favorites is no maintenance. I was renting a home in my transition here from a sale to Jacksonville to Yulee, and we had a roof leak. We had a upstairs shower pan leak situation. And I looked at my husband and I went, we could just call somebody. We just press a button, right? So that is definitely a blessing that the maintenance, whatever that may be, is not on your time and dime, which is nice. So that is definitely one thing. Flexibility and predictability. You can move at any time, right? We all know Jacksonville, of course, is a very military Town, very, people in, out, waiting, and especially in Yulee too, waiting for homes to be built. Sometimes construction takes a little longer than what they tell you, obviously. So sometimes you've got to rent for a year and a half, whatever, and you have that flexibility, right? You can move at any time. All right, you guys still with me? Take a big breath, take a sip. You still with me? mm. I got that caramel coffee today. It's like a caramel macchiato thing. It's really good. But I'm thrifty. I make my coffee at home most of the time. Okay, pros of renting. Predictability also on your moving expense, right? So if you're going to leave, you don't have to fix this and that and paint that and patch that wall, and you really just clean it up. Obviously, believe in leaving it the same or better than what you moved in if you're a renter, right? That's the protocol that we should all follow by, right? Your amenities. Yep. So that. Okay, so now we're going to go into the cons of renting. Before we do, y'all got any pros? Drop them in the chat. What do you love about renting? I personally love the no maintenance. I've been a renter and I've been a homeowner. I've been a landlord and everything in between. And that's the one thing about the renting I like, is that you got a problem, somebody else will solve it. That's basically that. That Vanilla Ice song just came to my head. Okay, we've got some cons of renting. We do pros and cons of both. You got some cons of renting. What do you not like about renting? Drop it in the chat. Let us know, guys. So there's no equity, right? You're just kind of paying that monthly. You're paying for a roof over your head. That's awesome. That's necessary necessity. The coffee's kicking in. Just roll with it. But you are building someone else's equity, right? The homeowners. So you aren't really building that long-term savings account, right? We'll talk more about that in the pros of owning in a minute. Your rent can go up every time you go to renew. And boy, did that happen to me. Every time I was there a couple years, and every time I went to renew, even though my everything was good, it like jumped up, make sure you negotiate to my renters now. Most things are negotiable. I love it. She's coloring. That's my realtor in training. If you watch the video one, she was behind me like half the time. Talking about you. I love you. She was behind me like half the time. It was so cute. She's listening. The kids listen to everything you say, good, bad, and ugly. So she's listening to me talking about the rentals. So those rentals, that lease is going to go up. You can pretty much guarantee that. So hot tip, sign a 2-year lease. And it's a little less likely it'll kind of kick that can down the road for another year. You have very limited control when you're renting, right? Can't paint the walls. Maybe there's a pet. Ban on certain pets, certain breeds. Maybe you can't have a fish tank. That is in a lot of rental agreements. Can't do upgrades. Maybe you're stuck with renting an older home and there's no upgrades and they never upgraded it, and you kind of are a little blah. So you're a little limited when you're renting, obviously, to what you can do with that space. We're grateful for any space over our head, right? That's why we get up every day. We all every day work so hard, right? So that you can put food, water, shelter on the table for your family, right? Basic. No tax benefits, guys. If you're renting, there's no tax benefits. There's tons of tax breaks with homeownership. We'll talk about that in a minute. And the most detrimental thing that I don't like that here. Now, if you're with an apartment complex, right, like where the one company owns the whole complex, this doesn't apply to you. But if you are renting an individual unit that someone else owns, like a condo unit, townhome unit, or a single family home, if they ever want to sell that bad boy, you may be asked to move at some point. Now, by law, of course, they got to give you X amount of time, but still, if you've got kids, pets, family, it takes a minute to move. You can't just get up and roll out, right? It takes some preparation. So that is one negative. You guys got any questions about renting? We went over lots of pros, lots of cons. I hope this microphone is on right now. Boy, I'll tell you what, I'll be so mad if this thing ain't on. All right, here we go. Now we're going to go into buying. Who's a homeowner in here? Drop it in the chat. What do you love about home ownership? What do you hate about home ownership? Join the conversation, guys. All right. So there's some pros of buying, some cons of buying. And then when we're done with this, I'm going to give you the real answer, what I would rather do right now in this economy. Because that's what you tuned in for, right? No, I'm just kidding. But that I'm always going to give you my real answer. And then we're going to talk about some mortgage rates. Okay. So the pros of buying. Oh, my favorite is the equity, guys. And I just sold my home in Jacksonville about a year and a half ago. And let me tell you, especially if you can hang on to it here. Yeah, I was in that home 14 years, a little adorable, cute brick home in Old Arlington. Shout out to A-Town, my Terry Parker folks, A-Town. And I was there for 14 years and I love that home so bad. And it hurt me to sell. I mean, I cried at the closing table, but it was bittersweet because we had that equity, right? And we were able to take it up here to Yulee, where my husband's from. So for him, it was coming back. He'd been wanting to come back up here this entire time. So God bless that man for sticking with me this whole time. But so you get that equity, right? You're building towards something. It's like this giant savings account. And don't worry, we'll talk about the mortgage rates next. Don't worry. I know that's your next question is, Sarah, what about the mortgage interest rates? We'll get to that in a minute. But most importantly, you're going to build that equity, right? When you're a home ownership, you're going to build that equity. You're going to have that. Obviously, you can't cash it out, right away. That's one downside. But you always know that you have that piece of property. Property, home, land, unlike a car, it's going to appreciate, not depreciate. That car, right when it goes off the lot, values over. Home ownership's a little bit different. Obviously, there's an ebb and a flow, which we'll talk about next, but it is mostly up. And if you can hang on to that home for a good hot minute, you're going to have, or a little hot minute, you're going to have some equity. And equity is my favorite thing. So another pro of buying, if you have a fixed rate mortgage, you're going to have a stable monthly housing cost. The only thing that's going to fluctuate when you own a home really is going to be your taxes and insurance. Always budget for a slight, usually about 3%, 1 to 3% increase typically. But at least your actual mortgage, the principal payment, that's going to be the same for 30 years. Hopefully not 50 years. Oh, don't even get me going. Maybe we'll talk about that next week, the 50-year mortgage. Oh, Lordy. When you buy the home, you can customize anything. You can paint it, remodel it. I love how it says pets unlimited, unlimited. Love you. Why don't you come say hey to YouTube? No? She held the clipboard up to her face, but it's clear, so I can totally see. So you can paint, remodel, unless you're in an HOA that prohibits, you can bring the horse in the barn, chickens. Always check your city and county codes, obviously. But when you have your own house, you can pretty much do what you want. And y'all know I'm a property manager now, licensed community association manager. So I could talk to you about your HOAs and your condos. So hit me up. Anybody can hit me up for the 20-minute free Zoom call. Okay. I'm here for you guys. That's the whole point of me doing this. I want to help people, whether it's buying, selling, or property management. I love you guys, and I love my job, honestly. Potential tax advantages, guys, when you own a home and you go to do your taxes, whether that be TurboTax or your CPA or whatnot, you're gonna get some tax breaks. You get a lot of breaks there on the insurance. If you pay points too, if you pay points on that mortgage, you're gonna get some little tax breaks on there, which is really nice. Kind of rolling into the equity, my favorite thing here, long-term investment, obviously growing in value, freedom to make it yours, appreciation. I heard somebody say today on YouTube and I laughed. He said, marry the house and date the rate. And I thought that was so funny because when you buy the house, it appreciates. And even if you don't love your interest rate, and we're going to talk about that next, and even if you don't love your interest rate, you can refinance later down the road. And a lot of these mortgage companies and banks charge you little to no fee to do your refinance. I did my refinance with Carrington Mortgage. They bought out my Bank of America home loan. It was Carrington Mortgage. And I remember one time the guy called me and they had a special rate and blah, blah, blah. And I thought it was a scam at first because he said it was no closing costs. And, I've been with them like 11 years, at this time. And lo and behold, I was able to do a refinance. It was on my birthday. I'll never forget. I do a refinance. I didn't bring any. I think it was like $100 or something for the closing. And it saved me about $250 a month, and I refinanced. So please don't let interest rates scare you if you're thinking about buying. There is always refinance options. The market, right? We're going to take a look at those stats too a little later. Okay, so that's the pros of buying. Y'all got any pros of buying? Who's bought a house here in the chat? Go ahead and put, what was your favorite thing? Did you like that you can paint the wall? Hot magenta pink. That's when we were at the rental, my kids were like, we want to paint the wall. And I'm like, can't do that in a rental, all right, but don't worry, it's not all sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns. There are some cons of buying. Who's got some cons of buying? Let's put it in the chat. Did you buy a house? Okay, first of all, the big one here, upfront costs, down payment, inspections, and closing costs. And actually, one of my next episodes, I'd like to talk to you about closing costs. And we're actually going to have a first-time home buyer let's see. I was going to tell you a little later in the chat, but we're actually doing a workshop with Brightway Insurance right here in Wildlight. They just opened their office on November 4th, right here in the little office town off Flacco Avenue and all of that, right behind Tasty's and all that. So we're going to be having a first-time home buyer workshop with those guys over at Brightway. So stay tuned for that. And that's one thing that we're going to talk about too, is the closing costs and what you got to bring to the table and the percentages and all that. So that is one of the cons of buying. You are responsible for those maintenance and repairs. So that roof leak, that shower pan, that's on you, buddy. It's not all sunshine, lollipops, and rainbows. So that's the good, bad, and ugly of owning a home. And that is definitely the ugly part of it. Okay. Hey, everybody coming in. Thanks so much. I love it. Got some company tonight. I love it. The cons of buying. Lex. Everybody take a sip of your coffee. We're at that point. I love that caramel. Lex flexibility. Oh my gosh. If you want to move quickly. So if you own the home, you can physically get your butt on out of there, but you're still going to own it and be responsible, right, for the mortgage, taxes, insurance until you sell it. So you can't just, dip at the end of a lease, right? You are in it for a little bit longer. Your property tax and your insurance can increase, but again, your rent is going to increase too, right? So in my opinion, that's kind of a lateral move, right? All right. So that's all the cons of buying that I have. It's really the maintenance and down payment. That's honestly it. All right. So before we get into my opinion, the real, who's got comment? Would you rather own? Would you rather buy? What do you like about owning? And what do you like about renting? So the real, I'm gonna give you the real. I would rather own. I love having that regular monthly payment. Of course, like I said, taxes, insurance just go up a little bit. I love having that equity. That equity is going to be built when you get to sell that thing. You're probably going to cash out. There was a brief time in the early 2000s where folks had an underwater situation, which that had happened since like the early 80s. So we'll get into that more about the market and mortgage rates here coming up. We've got some stats. So that's the real on that. Renting or owning 2026. What should you do? You can do whatever you want to do, what is good for your lifestyle. Of course, as a realtor, I can help place you in a rental too. I can find you a rental. So we don't just buy and sell here. I can help you find a rental too. So, but I would rather own because you own it and you can paint it. You can paint it. All right. So let's talk about some interest rates. And then we're going to jump into some stats here. We've got some real quick rates, and these are for Florida. You can be watching from anywhere in the world. I'm in Florida, USA. I'm in Yulee Wildlight. I'm in a fantastic town, a town in nature. Yulee has walking trails, A+ schools, live, work, and play. There's so much going on. I got 4 hands. Yulee's fabulous. So I'm your relocation specialist when it comes to Yulee. So hit me up, guys. Okay, so those interest rates right now, these are fixed rates. We got that 30-year fix. We got some that go from 6% to 6.8. You're gonna hear my big old dog. I got a big old hunting dog, and he's 100 pounds, and he just runs up and down the stairs. 6% to 6.88. Now that's at the time of recording this, which is November 16th. 15-year fixed rates going at 5.5% to 5.80. So they are going down, guys. We're getting ready to do the share screen here. I'll show you some stats. And national, so that's the Florida, and the national 30-year fix is about 6.28, and the 15-year fix is about 5.95. I bought my first house in 2009, and it was 5.25%, and everyone was talking about how fabulous that was for back then. So interest rates, it's one of those things, and that's why you can refinance, right? And homes always appreciate. It's not like that car. You drive it off the lot, and now it's your home, especially if you start making upgrades and do all kinds of stuff. All right, let's go into the stats. Who's ready for some stats? We're going to take a look at MLS monthly stats here. And of course, I'm a realtor. I've got everything here from the Northeast Florida Association of Realtors. Let's get my share screen. Y'all still with me? Also share system audio. All right, y'all good? All right, so this is for all Northeast Florida here. Oh, good, it's working this time. Last episode, I had a glitch. Okay, here we go. Super duper. So this is for all of Northeast Florida. And so our next stats here, so this right here is current. This is going to be for October. Let me make this a little smaller here. You hear my dog? Here we go. Get it together, Sarah. Get it together. All right, here we go. So let's leave it right here. So for October, hey, so that's again, all of Northeast Florida, right? This is your real MLS. The sales, the median price.
What are you doing?
I am on the YouTube. Say hey, YouTube. And right now, there are 20,344 residential single-family homes for sale, as you just saw that there popping up. A lot of homes for sale. Let's go ahead and get to this dashboard here. This is some fun stuff right here. This is our DOM analytics here. Lots of fun stuff. So I'm going to show you, of course, this is all of Florida. I'm going to show you Nassau. I'm going to show you Duval first and then Nassau, okay? Those are the two counties that I primarily work at. Of course, I can help you with the whole state of Florida, but I'm in Nassau and Duval and St. John's. Those are the three big three. All right, so this is right here is for Duval, giving you some stats here. How many were sold? Days on market. Look at that little clock on fire there. And and guys, I'm the real realtor. I'm all about facts, not fear. And that's why I love part of this, showing you these stats. People, oh, my house is sitting on the market forever. Well, is it priced right? Is it priced right? That'd be the first thing I would say. So, I'm all about the facts, and we all know how much media and Facebook loves to scare you into stuff. Okay, so that's for Duval. Sorry, I had to do it, y'all. I had to do it. I've been working all day. I don't even know if football's going on right now. I've been working my buns off here. All right, now we got Nassau County. Woo, I didn't mean to scream that. So a little bit different. These are for October stats. Take a look there. Y'all got any questions? Pop them in the chat. Pop the questions in the chat. Let's take a look at that St. John's. How about St. John's? Woo, look at that median price. A little bit higher, see? A little bit higher days on the market. Lots of building out there. I was just out there last week at that new Rivertown. Building that new Rivertown out there. All right, we're going to show you some market review here. All right, nice. So let's go ahead. We'll check out our Duval. And the areas selected, that's just all of Jacksonville. That's the 57 neighborhoods and areas and whatnot. Okay, so that's just to show you what that is. This is October 2025. Can I move this? Oh, look at that. There we go. Sorry. Thanks for bearing with me. I told you I'm new at the YouTube. This now, I checked this little box. This is giving you year to date. So check it out. Comparing 2024 to 2025. So this is really cool if you're getting ready to sell your home. You can watch these analytics with me and see what's going on here. We'll uncheck this here, go back to October. Let's take a look at Nassau County. I love living in Nassau County, y'all. We take it slow out here. We be kicking up some dirt. Now, these are just single family homes I've got, okay? If you're working with me, individually and you want to look at, some condos or whatever, we can absolutely do that. I'm just trying to make this information in the chat on my live YouTube as general as possible, just making it for everyone, right? And since single family homes are the most purchased and sold item. Okay, super duper. Let's take a look at St. John's. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me do the year to date real quick. See, take a look at that there. That's Nassau County, year to date. Pretty cool. I'm very much a nerd with the analytics. I love pulling CMAs too. That's one of my favorite. Here's St. Johns County, y'all. Take a look. That's for the month of October. And then our year to date. Pretty cool, huh? Real estate is always moving and shaking. All right. So we're going to do here. We'll leave. I want you to get apples to apples here. Let's get on that Duval. All right. So here we go. Showing you that prior week, the current week ending, and same week in the prior year. Like I said, if you're going to be selling your home, that is some good information to watch. I'm making sure it works. Is the volume on? Somebody let me know in the chat. It's only my second episode. I need to know if this volume is working. I always go back and watch that replay. Because I am my own best and worst critic. Okay, so that is going to be Duval. We're going to take a look at the Nassau. Now, taking a look at Nassau, we got our stats. All right. Now we'll go to St. John's. And guys, I'm wrapping up here about 5 minutes. If you got any questions, drop them in. Our Q&A is our last segment. Woo, this is St. John's right here. All right. We got market insights. This is our second to last one here. Let's take a look. This one is for that's for the weekly trends. Okay, here we go. All right, here we go. That's your Duval. See, and that's what I mean about that steady climb, right? That is why, in my opinion, it is so powerful to buy that house. Rent while you can, rent if you need to. No shame in the game. But if you can purchase, see, you'll see that climbing that ladder there. Okay. Anybody have any questions? Please let me know. We're going to take it to St. John's. Like I said, stay tuned in the new year. We are having a first-time homebuyer workshop with our friends at our new friends here at Brightway in Wildlight. All right, very cool, very cool. And everyone's favorite, our pricing analytics. Make sure y'all are still with me here. Who's with me? All right. We want our single family. We only want expired. Oh, that was came from over here. Okay, so we've got our market stats here. All right.
Mommy,
yes, hon?
how long is going to be taking?
I'm actually wrapping it up right now. How about that? I'll be done in a couple minutes. You're welcome to come and hang in here, though. I don't mind. Can you just close the door so the dog don't come in there? Oh, you're about to take it back. Okay. I'll see you in a little bit, okay? Just give me like 5 more minutes. Who's a working parent? Let's give it up to the working parents. Listen, we're out here making it happen, making this ish happen. All right, so those are your stats. Oh, man. All right. Real quick. We've got a few minutes here. Getting your home ready for the holidays. Oh, I had this thing up too. Hang on. Let me share my screen again. I gotta show y'all something. All right, real quick. 10 things to do right now, guys. You got 11 days to get that house ready for some holidays. Okay, who's doing a declutter deep clean? I did that today. Clean up where those people are going to be hanging out, right? Take a quick look. I also posted this on my Facebook and YouTube. So you've got 11 days to get it together, basically. That's funny. All right, guys. So that was episode 2, renting or buying. Should we wait on those interest rates? No, you shouldn't. Getting your home ready for the holidays. All right. Next Sunday night, same time, same channel. We're doing this at 7 o'clock Sunday night. I figure everyone's going to be cozy and chill. Next week, how do I buy a home when I still have to sell my home? I just went through this personally, and I know a lot of people right now want to switch it up. Holidays will also make you think about your living space. We all remember COVID being locked in, right? So holidays kind of have that same effect. Your home is your castle. It should be somewhere that you love coming home to and relaxing. And the Zen yoga teacher in me, it's all about that energy, that space. If your home is not giving you those peaceful vibes, then you gotta go. You gotta go, right? And that's why I started this, so I can help people. So next week, how to buy a home when I saw. We're going to talk about bridge loans, timing strategies, emotional stress points. I'm speaking from experience, and also AI and real estate. Have you heard Zillow is integrated with ChatGPT? And what can realtors do that AI can't? That is a lot. Real quick, open house of the week. Let me go ahead and tell you that real quick. It is sponsored by Renee Catramo at Real Broker LLC, 79547 Plumbers Creek Drive in the beautiful Plumbers Creek HOA. That is zoned for Wildlight schools, and it does have amenities such as a playground and a pool. November 23rd on a Sunday, 1 to 3 p.m. next week. If you are looking for an awesome house in Plumbers Creek, that is a beautiful high-end neighborhood. They're asking for $459,000. It is a 5-bed, 3-bath, 2316 square feet, presented by Real Broker LLC. That is our open house of the week. Are you selling your house? Do you want me to feature your house as an open house? Hit me up. We'd love to spread the word. We're all about helping people at the Real Estate Channel. All right, everybody, big breath inhalation. We're going to have a wonderful week. Take a big breath in. You know my yoga breath, the 4-count breath. And let it go with so much love and gratitude. Thank you so much for relying on me to be your real realtor. It is such an opportunity and a pleasure. Be sure to hit me up if you need anything at all. If you want to chat, 20-minute free Zoom call, hit me up. Otherwise, have a beautiful, blessed week, and I will see you next Sunday. Namaste, guys. Love you so much. Bye.